What's up, everybody? This is BC. Welcome back. It is the final day of the calendar year of 2023. As every year, it goes by quick. And I wanted to come on and talk a little bit today about some things that you can focus on for next year, bad habits, stuff like that. And it's crazy because we live in a world nowadays where, and this is going to be the first point, if you notice YouTube, if you notice social media, what gets clicks, what gets more shares, what gets more attention? The negative shit. It's stupid. So if I name this good habits for 2024 and I made a regular video or a live, it will get less engagement, less views, and just overall less everything because it's a positively framed thing compared to a negatively framed thing, right? So what's lesson number one? For you in your own life, forget marketing, for you in your own life, you want to do the opposite of what I just did here. You want to frame things in the positive. Possibility, probability. Not worst case scenario, right? Oh, just in case this happens. Because this is also tied into point number two. We need to stop moving in this world and planning for our lives and our relationships and everything in fear-based tactics, scarcity-minded things. You see this at every level, whether it's people's health, their relationships, business, and everything else. In relationships, well, I need to have 6 backups in case this one doesn't work out. Well, I can never fully commit to this person or this situation because this is going to happen. Same thing in business. Well, I can't risk it. I can't invest in the coach. I can't invest in you, BC, because, what if I fail out of the, stop. Everything is fear-based or in scarcity. It's insane. In 2023, after all the stuff that has been out, all these teachings and all these things, people still make the same fundamental mistakes. You got to risk it for the biscuit, man. If you do everything out of fear-based, guess what? You're focused on and you're planning for failure. If you think having a plan B is good, you've already spoken to the universe or God or whatever you believe in, and you said, I know plan A is not going to work. That's why I have a plan B already set up. Meaning, you won't even commit to plan A. You won't. You won't give it your all. It's crazy, right? A little bit of tea. I love this tea, right? It's good. So stop making decisions, planning, strategizing around fear and scarcity. That is one tremendously bad habit you have to drop in 2024. Seriously. Stop. Get rid of it. Get around people. Learn from somebody like me or whoever you fucking admire and tune into this. You need to be led by example. You need to witness it. You need to be around it. People around you need to exercise this. Conversations, tactics, all these things you need to learn and fully submerge yourself in it, because that's going to be the third one here. Whatever you want to do in 2024, go all in. Stop giving 70, 50, 20%. Well, maybe later. I need to make sure everything is perfect. Stop. Fully immerse yourself in whatever it is that you want to do or get better at. Fully immerse. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Full immersion, full dedication, full commitment, 100% discipline. No fucking plan Bs. No, well, I'm going to do this. None of that, right? We need to eradicate the gray areas and this weakness and go all in. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So be it. That's life. Life isn't fair. Then you pick yourself up and you go again, or you do something else. But you give it your 100% full-fledged effort. None of this half-ass shit that most people do. It's ridiculous, man. And everybody goes around half-assing it, and it's okay because everywhere you look, everyone else is half-assing it, so you think that's normal. Until I show up and you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I thought I was showing up. Damn. Give it your all. Now, I get it. You're afraid. You know what? That's an indicator that you're doing the right thing because you're entering an area or a zone that you've never been in. Of course, you're going to be afraid. We innately fear the unknown as human beings. How do we know this? Let me give you an example. Pay attention to this. Right? You know me. We're comfortable with each other. I say, hey, I'm going to drop you off in this field right here. It's pitch black, middle of nowhere. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's no animals. There's no danger, no immediate danger. Nothing will happen to you. I've scouted it. I've been here myself. You're good. I leave you there, right? It's pitch black. I don't care who told you or who prepared you. You will be afraid Every little noise, you're going to look, you're going to be unsure. You will not be comfortable until you're there for a long time. Okay. Maybe a couple days. It's going to be different for different people. But long story short, you will initially feel uncomfortable. Anytime a human being does something that they enter the unknown, they're going to be fearful of it or hesitant or unsure. That is the human condition. You cannot avoid that. So if you go to do something and you say, I'm not going to do it because I'm uncomfortable or I'm afraid, that doesn't make sense because there's no way to get around it. You have to act in spite of that. Right? So even when we get philosophical with this thing, I want to break it down so simply that a child could listen to this and understand. You see, but a child doesn't deal with this. They don't care how they feel. They go after what they want. That's been stripped away from you in your journey to adulthood. The kid goes for it, man. They go for it. They don't make excuses. They would make fun of you for saying, "Oh, I don't feel uncomfortable," or "I'm scared." They would laugh at you. Seriously, they would. The child version of you is laughing at you and calling you silly and doing this. I can't believe this guy. He grew up to be a loser. He grew up to not give it his all. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we have this piece, right? We have this piece, which is, okay, I'm doing the unknown. I'm doing something different, right? So we have to face this. Now, there's no way around the emotion. One of the mistakes that people make as we continue on this point is you can't pick and choose what emotions you're going to feel as a human being. The broad spectrum of emotions, you will feel all of them. What you need to do is become comfortable with all of them and stop resisting certain ones and embracing other ones. Again, you are not superhuman. You're not going to be able to circumvent this thing. That's the part of the human life and condition. You will feel sadness and happiness. And again, if we want to get even more philosophical, if sadness didn't exist, happiness wouldn't exist. They're two sides of the same coin. So the fact that you feel excitement and happiness, you will feel the opposite because you can't experience that. Would a sunset exist without the sunrise? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Right? So understand and stop this resistance because so much is built off that. We want to avoid failure, whatever the fuck that means. Understand that on the conquest for anything, you will have accomplishments and things that you do and achieve, and you will have setbacks, challenges, and failures. That is a part of the game in its entirety. You can't skip and pick and choose. And all it is our immaturity and our lack of understanding. And this game where we only want to feel one emotion, which again, if you go back to my live that I did yesterday, you see that that's a tremendously dangerous, slippery slope, like a big time slippery slope, right? That leads to a bunch of shit. Leads people down the path of drugs and addiction and a bunch of crazy stuff. It really does. It really does. Okay. So we're barely scratching the surface here, about 13, 14 minutes in on what this game is, right? With some of the bad habits we need to drop in 2024. Okay. But you see very quickly that what I'm going to recommend to you and what we need to do is step up our game and things that anybody can do. That's why I love a lot of these more general lives that I do where I don't specifically talk about sales or something like that. Is this is universally applicable, man. You could be a plumber listening to me, a musician, a 9-to-5er, a lawyer, an executive, and it applies to you. It does. Anybody can do this stuff. And the interesting part is when you start to play more in this realm, everything in your life gets better. Suddenly, following the proper lifestyle and diet, right, becomes easier, right? Relationships and communication becomes a little simpler. Being happy and content with yourself. Your focus increases, your discipline increases, and all the things that lead to you getting better get better. That's the interesting part, because while everyone else is talking about the surface, I want to go down to the deepest part where the seed is and say, let's deal at this level, not on the surface. And see, people do not want to do that because it takes more effort, it takes more time, it takes more energy, it takes more resources, and it takes so much more. It's easy and comfortable. It's uncomfortable to go within and spot and confront the things that you don't like about yourself. It's not easy, especially when you grant somebody the the permission or the privilege to help you with it. Like a lot of my close students, right? We have very intimate, real conversations, and some of them are tough for them. Now, I've done it so much now, it's easy for me. But for them, I can tell it weighs heavy on them. But there's situations and conversations and teachings that have to be given. And there are moments that they have to go through in order to finally break through or finally admit something, see something, become aware of it, and make the changes that they need to make. And it takes an extreme amount of trust in somebody to grant somebody that. I get it. But you first have to do that with yourself before you let anybody else in. If you aren't willing to look in the mirror and admit your shortcomings, right? Or, hey, you know what? This year I didn't give it my all. You know what? I made excuses. You know what? I'm a lazy motherfucker. Like admitting those things to yourself wholeheartedly and then raising your hand and telling the world, because that's going to be the next one we cover here. The bad habits to drop in 2024. You should stop caring and be willing to admit your faults to everybody. Not everything, but at least the stuff that normally would make you uncomfortable. Like saying, hey, I'm irresponsible financially. Hey, I'm overweight and I'm lazy. Hey, I eat like shit. Hey, you know what? I don't really take the time to put myself together and dress properly when I know I should. Admit that to the world. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your Instagram. Make a video about it. Otherwise, you're always going to have that chain. You'll be held to the public opinion of you, and you will never go 100% at anything because you're afraid of being crucified by that. You really are. Let go of that shit. Drop it. And again, with any of these points, if any of you need help, I can help you. This is what I do. But again, if you come to me, come correct and come prepared. And another one that's attached to this point that I'm making, and another one that we can do for 2024, stop asking for fucking handouts. Everybody nowadays thinks. Now, this is the crazy part. Somebody gives you something for free or out of the kindness of their heart, fantastic. But when people show up, this is what we need to shed for 2024. Shed the entitlement. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes me shit. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes you nothing. Stop asking for fucking handouts like you deserve it, because you don't, and neither do I. Nobody does. That way, when somebody's charitable or does extend an olive branch to you or helps you out, we see it for what it is, the kindness of that human being to help you, which I do in abundance and many people do. But for that same person to be entitled and think that they deserve it, that's wrong. Especially when it comes to the business world. The business world has its own set of rules, and nobody owes you shit. Get that through your head. You don't deserve shit for free just because you think it's 2023 or 2024. Sorry. Because even if somebody gives you some shit for free, it costs them or someone else something. When I host a free event, let's say I host a free event at my office. Are you paying the electricity or the rent or anything else? No. But you're showing up there, again, to the individuals who expect it to be for free. They're showing up there like they deserve that shit. Yet that opportunity and that event wouldn't exist if I didn't put up the money and bring in all the knowledge and success that I had to create that opportunity. So for the people who expect shit for free, understand that. It's very easy to break free from that attitude when you start to see the reality behind a lot of the shit that you expect and want for free. Someone's paying for it. Someone had to earn the position to provide you that opportunity. Blows my mind, dude. Even when I was coming up, I didn't have a fucking pot to piss in business. I never expected anything for free. And the audacity of some of the messages and comments I get from people blows my fucking mind. And I feel sorry I don't even get mad anymore. I feel sorry for them because they're so fucked up here. They don't see that is stopping them from being successful. The same person who's stingy as fuck expects their customer to open up their wallet and give them thousands of dollars. That's not the way the world works, homie. Because that same person that you're asking to give you money can smell on you that you're a cheap ass motherfucker. And they know it. They can sense it from you, from how you dress to how you talk, to your movements, to your eye contact, to the quality of your voice. You think you're hiding that shit? No, you're not. And then when you step up against somebody like me, you will never sell at my level because internally you're not congruent. I am. So when I speak, it's 1,000,000 times more effective than you. When I sell, it's 1,000,000 times more effective than you because you haven't cracked that code yet. You think you can get away with it. And I love this point because I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to a specific sector of people that expect, because this is the era, right? It's a generation after me. I'm pushing 40 soon, right? So it's this next, 8 years younger than me, 10 years, 15, 20 years younger than me, right? It's nuts. It's nuts. Now, typically, a lot of them, because of who I am, they won't say it to me directly. They'll have conversations with other people about it and make comments about me. It's always in the background or behind people's backs because they're fucking cowards, right? But that attitude, if more people speak out against it and call it out for what it is, it will go away, as well as many other problems today that we see in the world. But nobody is calling it out. So as a next point to add to this, you need to be straight up about things. You need to call things as they are. If somebody's doing something wrong, say something, do something about it. If something isn't correct, right? Like as an example, I've seen people try to bully people. Like, again, if there's 20 guys bullying one guy and it's just you, of course, use your intelligence here. I'm not going to fucking confront 20 guys. I'm going to get my ass beat. That's stupid. But I'm speaking generally here. I would see somebody cussing somebody out or bullying them and say, hey, bro, stop that. Let's go. Everybody split it up. Let's go. I've stopped fights at the gym. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to fucking get my membership revoked here because you stupid motherfuckers want to fight. Shut the fuck up. Right? Or take that shit outside. But step up and do it. I've done that a million fucking times now. Right? We need more, especially if you're listening to me and you're a man. Especially if you're a man, dude. Stop. You need to step up. The world relies on you to protect. The women rely on you to protect. Everything. Your future children, right? Laws, everything. The sanity and order of the world depend on you to step up. So whether you're a solo dude coming up, you're an older guy, you have a family, it relies on us. Order. Right? Order is a male quality and energy. Therefore, you need to embody it and demonstrate it on a daily fucking basis. But if you can't even do it with yourself in your life, how are you going to do it for somebody else, man? That's why I know, right? That's the beauty of embodying these principles. When people come into your life, right away, it impacts them and it changes them. And this could be at any capacity. It could be a woman of mine. It could be a team member. It could be one of my employees. Right? When you become this force that embodies all these qualities, that change just trickles down from you into everybody and everything that you do. So I know I can take anybody and change their fucking life like this. Financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? With everything because of what I've done with myself and what I embody. Now imagine if the whole fucking world did this. You think it would be in the state and the condition that it's in now? No, not at all. Not at all. If everybody held themselves to that standard and committed to these things, but they don't. They just skate by. They create comfortable misery for themselves. So bad habits for 2024 as we continue, get rid of the people around you who don't demand excellence from you because they should. If I'm your friend, see, the interesting part is this. You guys know this. Because if I were to come around to many of you in the comment section or, people that follow me, if you listen to the recording, you would act and hold yourself differently when I'm around. You would stand up a little bit straighter. You would dress sharper, right? If different opportunities and things happened, like in our environment, you would respond differently. You'd be more focused. Why? The only reason you're changing is because I stepped up. Meaning people of higher value and quality are around you. So you got to perk up. You got to stand up straighter. You got to dress a little bit better. That's a good thing. You see, the weak people out there be like, oh, who does this guy think he is? Shut the fuck up. That's a good thing because I'm bringing greatness out of you. Me and a lot of people that represent what I just said. We're literally subconsciously getting you to step your fucking game up. How is that not good? How is that not good? See that for what it is. Do whatever it takes to get that around you moving forward. Because many of you get lazy, unmotivated. You don't do what you're supposed to do because you don't have that around you. And why? Because you'll do the minimum effort trying to get that. Well, I posted this comment on YouTube. I listened to this one podcast and opted into this website. That's not enough, dude. Get off your ass and do something. Hit me up. Hit somebody else up and say, dude, I need coaching or I need to go to that event. Help me. And then do whatever they fucking tell you. You can't stop it. Well, I messaged them and then they told me to do this and I didn't want to do it. Then you didn't want it, dude. Because you have no excuse in this era. You have no excuse. Like, you can be an aspiring entrepreneur in the middle of nowhere today, where normally before the internet, you wouldn't see shit. Now you can connect with powerful business owners. You can see all the motivation and inspiration you would need for a lifetime. And if you still can't do it in this era, I'm sorry, my friend, you are weak and it's not in you. Because you literally have no excuse now. You didn't back then either. But now, especially, it is so much easier now to be successful in this modern era compared to before, especially with the internet. Oh my God. All the excuses should be out of the fucking window. Seriously, man. Seriously. The amount of free resources you guys have is insurmountable. Yet, someone will be reduced to this. Well, I'm scared. I don't know where to start. Really, dude? Where are your fucking balls? You're scared and you don't know where to start? Like, you really just said that? Really? You seriously just said that? How fucking pathetic. Seriously. How pathetic. How pathetic. And how sad that nobody around you told you that and they just coddle you. Oh, it's okay. You know, it's tough and this and that. Shut up, dude. Stop babying people, right? Because part of the previous point that I told you is get rid of those enablers that bring out the bitch in you and the weak in you. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. I know it's tough. And look how detrimental this is. You guys ever see those people that are always like sick and always like the victim, right? Like, let's go with that. Sick. They're like perpetually sick all the time. Maybe they have an illness or whatever it is, but look around them. They get all this attention and love when they're sick, so they want to keep themselves sick. Because as soon as they're not sick anymore, they lose that attention from the enablers. So they keep themselves in that perpetual sickness all the time. It's a mental disease. The enablers force that. Now, the enablers are responsible as well. But I always go back to personal responsibility of the individual. I know today that's a red flag, right? It's extremist to say that. Fucking nonsense. It's not extremist. It's extremist in the fucking pathetic ass world that we live in now. Right? Where we have to protect people's feelings. Stupid, dude. Stupid. Grow up. How about that? Right? Protect your own fucking feelings and stop leaving it up to other people or the government or somebody else to protect your fucking faggot feelings. Seriously, man. You can't even say that word. Oh, well, you know, he's anti-gay. I'm not anti-gay. Look at my life, right? All these words trigger people. Shut up, dude. It's a fucking word. If you don't like it, turn this off and don't listen to it. We live in the real world. If words offend you, you ain't going to do shit in business. You ain't going to do shit in relationships, and you're not going to do anything. You're a pussy. That's what it is. If you can't hear, I don't care if your style isn't cursing. Fantastic. But if you can't hear it and you want to cancel people or have this argument about it, you're pathetic. Because I'm the opposite. I don't like what most people would deem square or nerdy, right? I don't like that stuff either. But do you see me trying to cancel them and going after them? No, I don't. I don't. Let them play over there and do their thing, right? But that's the world that we live in, right? And then somebody wants to come into the business world with all this shit behind them. Then the first time they get rejected, now they're the victim. Well, they didn't like me because I'm a man or I'm a woman or I'm this or that. They didn't like my religion. All the excuses come out because of the world that we've created. Now, we've allowed that world to happen because people have sat back for far too long and not done anything. So go back to the point I said 2 or 3 points ago where I said, speak up, man. Speak up. Speak up. Say something because you'll feel better. And when enough people speak up, you're not in the minority anymore. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This sentiment that I carry, right? I get a lot of messages. Most people agree with me. Most people are in line with this. It's just they're sitting and lurking in the shadows. I'm in the front lines. Most of them agree, but they're not on the front lines. So there's this illusion that I'm this crazy one or I'm the sole, lone wolf. I'm not. I'm not. And you've heard the saying, there's strength in numbers, of course. But you got to present yourself. to be a part of the numbers. Okay. Next year, 2024, what are some other bad habits? Doing shit for clout, doing shit for attention, jumping on every trend, right? Like, I'll tie it in this way. If you're a professional who follows me, if we're talking in the business world, the farther you get away from traditional business principles, the farther away you get from that, the more you're going to suffer and not have a business. I've talked to so many people that will laugh at me when I tell them to build systems, track their numbers, have a P&L, like the real vocabulary and fundamental pieces of real business. They laugh at me because they think they can create a social media account. They believe all these gurus, and suddenly, in whatever industry they're in, they're just going to be showered with money and results. Well, guess what? The stats are in. Wrong. Wrong. Not going to happen. You're not going to dance your way and film your way to millions of dollars. I'm sorry. Not going to happen. When you work in the business world, you deal with people, which means you need communication skills, sales skills, and the ability to build professional relationships with people. You think you're going to do that hiding behind your phone on TikTok at home? Sorry. So make a commitment going into 2024 that you're going to strip yourself of all this modern day delusion and all the illusions and get back to what business is at its foundation and understanding what it is and that it's composed of people and all the components. Study the basics. Because then when you look up, you're going to be like, oh, okay, it's clear to me what I'm doing wrong here. Spending 90% of my time and energy and money and resources on fluff and only 10% on the real stuff. Uh-oh. I need to make a change. There we go. But until you can see the reality, nothing's going to change. Right? I get messages on a daily basis, guys. Hey, does talking to people still work to grow a business? And I sit there and read those messages. I'm like, wow, how far back have we gone where people want to deny reality? Hey, man, I know you've been recommending this for years. Does it still work? It's nuts. Like, it almost makes me want to cry sometimes. It really does. That they would look at the reality, something real and tangible, and say, wait, is this real? I know I'm holding it. I know I can touch it. I know it's physical. I know it's here in front of me right now. My eyes see it, but is this real? It's like, dude, you think we're in the Matrix or what? Like, what the fuck? Yes, you're holding it. It's real. Well, I heard or someone told me, right? Because that's a bad habit you got to drop in 2024. Listen to that syntax of what I just said. I've heard, someone's told me, my mom said, my brother said, this one guy said, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, whenever you hear that, boom, your antenna should go up. If you come to me for professional advice and I give you something, and then a random Joe Schmo says something that counters me, before you come to a conclusion, take a step back and look at it and say, in this example, Brian's a professional with a decade of experience. This person's a Joe Schmo who doesn't know anything about business. Now, if the answer of who you should listen to in the example that I just gave you isn't glaringly obvious, let me explain it to you. The individuals who are giving you advice, make sure they're qualified. Because if you go around listening to everybody as if everybody's opinion is equal, then you will suffer and you will get nowhere in life. Because that is a backwards philosophy that has been instilled in people because everyone's the same. Wrong. We're not. We're given the initial freedoms, but we're not the same. I can't go up to a plumber and say, I'm just as good a plumber as you, bro. That's stupid. He's the professional. I'm not. How could I tell him that? And we live in a society right now where he would have to say, yeah, okay. Well, that's what he thinks. I don't want to offend him. What? Right? But we still do this. Now, I've been talking about this for a decade now, guys. I know I'm not big and popular and famous and all that shit, nor do I think I ever will be. But people still haven't applied this datum and many of the datums that I've been talking about for 10 fucking years. Who are you getting advice from? If you're getting business advice from your parents and they've never owned a business, or your college professor who's never owned a business, that's not good advice. That's an opinion. That's an opinion, not advice. And many of you will take that initial step correctly and you'll come to somebody like me and get good advice. But then you don't implement it or you start questioning it because random people say, oh, that's not going to work. Who the fuck are they? Why would you allow yourself to suffer by evenly weighing those opinions? Well, you said this, BC, but my mommy said this. If you were 10 years old, I could understand, but we're adults, y'all. Come on. Well, I don't want to hurt my mom's feelings. She's grown. If she can't deal with her feelings at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, she never will. Sorry. And people will sacrifice themselves and their future and their autonomy and their goals and dreams to protect somebody's feelings. Isn't that a shame? Who's really selfish in those examples? Because they'll tell you you are. Are you, though? Are you? Take a look back. Take a look at these things, man. Apply some of that intelligence that you've been blessed with as a human being and start to think. Because I really think that I broke out on the internet 7, 8, 9 years ago because of that. Because I challenged it. Because I use my brain, right? And many of you are just as capable as me. I'm not sitting here saying I'm the smartest person. I'm not. But I have built up my ability to think more critically. And I've most definitely improved my skills as a communicator. That's why now the message keeps getting louder and louder and clear, and more and more people come and they listen because they're like, you know what, this dude's onto something. And a lot of them initially didn't like me, and that's fine. You could still not like me on a personal level, but the message still stands because the message doesn't represent a gender, a race, a religion, or anything. It's ideas, and ideas are universal, my friends. And long after I'm gone, they will still be here. That's the power of them. Because even if I was wiped off the face of this earth tomorrow, all the content that I made and this message and these ideas will live on forever. So for next year, is it going to be another year? Or is it going to be different? Now, what needs to be implemented? I could continue giving you examples for hours and hours and hours here tonight, guys. You already know what to do, though. It's even with my closer students and everybody else. I tell them, shit, you could even go to the stuff that I sell. I say, it's not the information that you're paying for or that you need. It's not information. It's direction, accountability, right? That, professional set of eyes on you to show you and maybe demonstrate to you what you're not aware of, make little tweaks, right? Massive action from you, your 100% dedication. That's what needs to be added here, not more information. You see? But the individual has to put themselves in the position to do that. The mental state, right? And then they actually have to show up and put in the effort. And most people don't. They'll talk to me about how they're preparing to get started. Dude, no. No. Sorry. Put in the effort. But I'll tell you this. If you're around, let's say you're around a group of people and they're all just fucking crushing it. Not that they're all rich or successful, but they're putting in the fucking work every day. And everywhere you look, in front of you, next to you, behind you, everybody's just on it. What do you think that's going to do to you? And then the next question becomes, why don't you put yourself in that environment? What's the excuse? Time, money? Because there really isn't one. Because when you want to be in that environment, in this example, really bad, you'll figure it out. And you'll stop fucking making excuses. Because I don't want to hear your excuses. Nobody does. Right? I'll play the fucking world's smallest violin for you. Nobody wants to hear it, dude. Nobody wants to hear it. So the last thing I'll add before I end here tonight. Again, applies to everybody, but especially the men. You need to go within you and activate the dormant competitiveness that is in your nature and activate that shit. We thrive off competition. We've evolved and survived because we're competitive. And if you're not competitive in what you're doing and in life, you're the prey. You're not the hunter. And you will be depressed and lack energy and motivation and not be liked as much and all that stuff. Because not only do you shine differently, you move differently and you live differently and you think differently. You see, for you to be more future focused, progress orientated, right? Thinking more critically, thinking more about what can go right instead of what can go wrong. You see, when you're competitive, a lot of that stuff happens a lot more naturally for you because you're in tune on the right frequency and you're on the path. You're not veering off. You're on the path. Then you start attracting different people into your life and opportunities, but you have to activate that, man. This is why if some of you listening to me have never been in sports, go join a boxing gym or do something that's going to get the competitive juices in you. Because if you're in the ring and somebody punches you in the face and you don't want your get back, then just turn in your balls, man. Seriously. But we need to get off our ass and be more competitive. There's nothing wrong with competitiveness. It's good. It's healthy. It's not that we're going to play a video game and kill each other. No, but competitiveness, it makes it more fun. Go run a sprint right now and time it, then get a friend to race you and time it again. I guarantee you with your friend racing you, you're going to run faster. We thrive off competition, dude. I remember when I played football and all those things. And a lot of people don't know about that, right? People are like, damn, bro, you're quick. Because you're trying to fucking tackle me, bro. I don't want you to tackle me. My wheels are going to go, vroom, right? And I always told the coaches, man, my 40 was quick, but I wish we could have timed it when I was fucking catching it and fucking juking people and running down the field. Guarantee you my 40 would have been a little quicker. You see, that's competition. Oh, someone's trying to tackle you. It's not competition. It's competition. It's I'm trying to get to the end of the field and you're trying to stop me. That's a competition to see who can win. Right? Kickoff return, punt return, catch the ball. You look forward, you got a bunch of people from the opposing team looking to take your fucking head off. That's competition. But see, we live in a world that's so fucking tamed and easy that people can just float doing nothing. Oh, I can just order food to my house. I can just watch everything digitally. I don't need to talk to people. Well, shit, dude. You've built up your own mental cage and prison. And you've become okay with it. Like when I went to the park today, right? I thought about it today. Just the interactions I had with my trainer and some other people there, and some of them were strangers. I was like, man, these interactions, I even told my trainer today, I was like, and this happened like in an hour workout. Most people wouldn't have this much human interaction outside of their work or their family, probably in like months. And we did that in an hour, dude. It's crazy. All right. Shout out to Brian, right? My calisthenics trainer. Even he's transformed in the 2 years that we've met. He used to be super quiet. Now he's fucking talking to people and approaching them. That's because we're friends now and I've kicked a lot of game to him, dude. And I've supported his business. You see, but being around me has helped him with that. So when I say I help people and change them, I'm fucking doing it on a daily basis. Now you can do the same if you build yourself up and you conquer some of your demons and you accomplish more in life. And it's cool to do that. You all remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the top, you give to others. Are you going to do the same or what? Cool. All right. I'm going to get off here, guys. Have a safe night. Don't do any dumb shit. It's just another fucking day. It's whole New Year's, new me bullshit. I'm even looking into next month like, fuck, man. The park and the gym are about to be packed with these people who make these shitty resolutions. And then by February, it'll be back to status quo, right? Don't be one of them. All right? Do something powerful tonight. Read a book. Do something that's going to better you. Don't go out and get fucking blackout drunk and then miss out the first because you did too much last night. Did you really have fun or were you just bullshitting yourself? All right? That's it for this one, y'all. I have all the links in the description. Have a good night. We'll see you in 2020.